Hello, everyone. Welcome back to day two of the 4 days to seven figures masterclass challenge. I'm so excited to be back with you again for the journey of day two. Thanks so much to those of you that have joined me for day one. I know Mondays tend to be hectic because it's the start of the week, but usually for me, by Tuesday, things quiet down. We have settled. So I'm hoping that you are joining me from everywhere that you are watching this video and on Zoom. So definitely comment. I would love to hear more regarding, what you're doing, where you're logging in from, how are things by you, and all of that, so we can get a great conversation started, I should say, while we're also learning, right? I love to do both. I love to learn from one another, share knowledge, share expertise, and all of that, but also connect and have a really genuine conversation. And most importantly, also questions that you might have, or as I say, takeaways that you might, be developing as you're going through this journey of this masterclass. Because that's really for me is about the impact. So every time I hear that you're walking away with something that just melts my heart. It's why I do what I do. So thanks so much for sharing that in the chat as well. And I see Corey came. Hello, Corey.
Hey, Lona. How
Hi.
are you?
Good. How are you? Welcome back.
Very good.
Thanks for joining again, and welcome
Yes.
to day two. I was just started and welcoming everyone. And today I have an exciting topic for you guys. And every day is really going to be a continuation or a buildup of the prior day, right? Because we do want to connect the dots between all
Sure.
those fundamentals that I spoke about on day one. So connecting the dots for me is really drawing that, casting the bigger vision in our business, so that once we have the knowledge and education of what we need to implement, again, I find that that's a breather. It's like, okay, now I know. And I always say, when we know better, we do better. It's like a saying I always use because I really believe it. So today I'm going to talk about understanding your ever evolving ideal client avatar. And I know that this sounds like something that would be probably applicable to when you first launch your business. It's like, okay, that's like exercise number one. Like, who is your client avatar? But I have found that with every phase and stage of business that you evolve in, your client avatar is going to evolve with you, right? With your offers, with the way you're helping people, with the way you're making an impact. So that's why I say your client avatar is an ever evolving exercise or ever evolving focus in your business, because the people you start out helping at the beginning are not necessarily, just like anything in business, the same people that you might be serving down the line. Because once you have a lot of experience with a lot of clients, you're going to start to see patterns. You're going to start to see who are the clients that actually get better results for you. Who are you more interested in working with? I always say, because I also come from the world of HR, and I always say that I used to interview, I recruit a lot, I've recruited a lot, I recruit a lot for my business as well. And it's the same thing with when you get a job, or you want to interview for a position, you want to be able to also give and take with your employer. And it's not just the employer looking for the right fit. You should be looking for the company that and the position is the right fit for you. So both things have to really align. But of course, that comes with experience, right? At the beginning, I always suggest just get yourself out there and help as many people as you possibly can, because that insight is going to be so valuable, because that experience will tell you who are, again, the people you really want to work with down the line. And the more you go through the journey, the more clients you help, the more impact you make, again, the more clarity you have as a business owner of who is my ideal client, what are their characteristics. I know we talk so much sometimes over, like, what are some of their main pain points, the results they're looking for, the things that motivate them, what is where are they hanging out, What is their family dynamic? What is their profession? What is their lifestyle? What is their mindset, right? So there's psychographics and demographics, right? I'm sure that we've kind of heard like about both things. And again, this is an ever evolving thing. It is important, as I said at the beginning of of my masterclass right now, that we do niche down. We have to niche, we have to find the gap in the market. We cannot start out so generally, but again, the more experience, once you start implementing all these other things in your business, the more experience you get, the more clarity you will receive, which is a gift, right? That's why we have to take action. That's why we have to do the things. We have to run the marathons. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon, it's a journey. That's why, all this resonates with me. So I see it really as that. So what are the two on your workbook on page 2? So just flip your page if you have your workbook printed, or just, go to the next page on your phone or PDF or email. It should be on your email. You sure received it. By the way, if anyone needs the workbook, let me know in the chat. We will get that over to you, because again, I think that's really great information that you could just have all the knowledge and what's been shared in like a structured manner. I love myself a little structure, because it tends to get a lot of information. So what are the two on your workbook? You're going to find the first line up there. It says, what are the two most important client commodities, and what are they actually always trying to get more of? So as human beings, the two commodities are always, we're trading time or money, right? We're investing time or investing money. I always say to my entrepreneurs, when you invest in yourself, you are investing your time so that you can get more money, right? So you can learn the skills, you can gain the experience, so you get more, income out of your knowledge if you know how to apply and all of that, right? So even your clients, they're always the two hottest commodities. We want something that is going to speed up our time. So your product, your offer, whatever you're offering is going to give your clients more time. So do it faster for them, shorten the time, and the money. They want more money out of the result that they're actually investing in, right? So your product or again, offer is always going to relate to any one of these. Can you guys let me know what you think is the most important one? Is it time or money? Just drop it in the chat. What do you think? Which one is the most important commodity? I'm just curious. Yes, great, awesome. Thanks so much, Corey and Irma. Time is the most important commodity. We cannot get back time, but of course we can, manage our money and we can make more money. So the more experience we have, the more investment we make in ourselves, which is why I'm such a high believer of investing in you, because you can get back time, but money, you can make money, right? If you understand how to multiply and, grow your business in a healthy way and all of that, your money should be making you more money down the line as well, right? And I teach a lot of concepts around wealth creation as well, because I think it's important too. Once you have equity and income, of course, you want to build on that, and you want your money to make you money. You don't want to trade your time for money, right? I think we've heard that saying before, especially as service providers, because we are the service, right? So we want to find other ways to scale our time so that we make more money, income, and also impact. So that is that. The next one is people buy with their emotions and they justify with logic. And the 4 most important areas in any market that people always invest in getting help are going to be their wealth, creating wealth, their health, which we learned after the pandemic is really our new wealth. So their health, their happiness, and also their relationships. Those are the 4 areas So even if you look back at your life of where you have invested your money, you can drill it down to one of these major areas. So just know that also in your messaging, right, with your clients. Um, which area are you helping them advance in? So for example, for me is of course happiness, but mostly my priority will be wealth, because building a business obviously will, give you the wealth and the income that you need to make an impact and do other good stuff and freedom and all of that. And then my other indirect one, of course, is happiness. And it's actually, you can interject all of these with what you do, but you have to have like two main things that you actually drive, which is driving the results of your message, which is how you drive results directly. But of course, we know that we are not like in a cubicle in our life. Once we, invest in our health, let's say, that it affects our relationships, it affects our self, confidence, it affects the way we feel about ourselves, our happiness, and all of that, right? So it's, we're not in a vacuum, but just so you know that, you need to have the area that you help. And that's like you have to articulate that for your audience, which is the main area that you actually have people get results. So those are the four areas. Um, so you can feel free to let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear like which area do you actually think you directly create results for? It's always very helpful. So, let's do like an exercise form or just a conversation. So definitely let me know which one of these areas you feel you directly help them or make an impact with your clients. And then of course, all these other areas are going to improve as well, because at the end of the day we want a quality of life, right? I always say, at the end of the day we buy things because of the way that we think that's going to make us feel. That's why I said at the beginning that we buy with our emotions. I mean, what's the big business going to create in your life? What is, getting fit mean, for you? We always talk about success and like fulfillment, but that's everyone has a different definition of that, right? So, and we want to build, invest in the areas that I mentioned because of the feeling of what we think that's going to give us. So always remember that we are human emotion. We're just like an emotional machine as human beings, right? Our emotions are very important. That's why now we talk about, being a leader and understanding emotion intelligence, or even as an entrepreneur, you have to manage your day-to-day mindset and emotions with all the results that you want, and how important that is. If we, have blocks and things that are coming up, we're going to act on the emotions, and based on that emotion, we can take action or no action, and we're going to, keep hold ourselves back, right? So that's a whole nother class. But emotions are really, really crucial. So, and then the third one in your workbook is really understanding in your business, do you want to be perceived as a brand? Who do you want to be perceived as, do you want to attract a value client, or you want to attract the price client? Do you want to be perceived as the brand that creates value in the marketplace and helps their clients by adding value to their lives with the results that you create? Or do you want to be the cheapest? Do you want to be the Walmart? There's always the Walmart in any market and the Louis Vuitton, right? So there's a market for everybody, right? There's people will be attracted to different things because we are attracted our internal needs. We get attracted, maybe some people get attracted to lifestyle or status, or or some other people are not attracted to that. They're attracted more, to relationships, to quality of life and all of that. So you just have to decide, based on the brand perception you have in your market, who are you going to become? And this is actually a choice, because a lot of times as entrepreneurs, we feel like, oh my gosh, there's so many people in the market doing what I do. So we go into lowering our price and just, competing with our price, becoming like the cheapest, or like, I don't, this is as much as I can get for what I offer, rather than leading with the value. And of course, leading with value, for some people is very challenging because first of all, a lot of entrepreneurs, and I've overcome all these all these steps, by the way. That's why, I'm going to share this with you, that this is what I've learned. I didn't know my worth and all of that. And I had to do a lot of self work because I would charge so low. And I would just think like what I do is not valuable. People are not going to pay for it. And all of these are all limitations, right? And we all have our own, growth journey. That's the mindset part. But you actually can decide when you put yourself out there and you build a brand on purpose, you can decide what are you going to lead with. And of course, if you want to lead with value, which I think is the most important one, and that's kind of what I've created in my business, leading with the value that I provide rather than the price, that's just a decision away. So of course, you have to do all these other things in the business so that you are constantly growing your brand, your visibility, your expertise, sharing, caring, serving, all of that, right? Because of course, people want to know that you're an expert, but it's very important with the messaging, right? That the way you position yourself in the market, you don't want to speak about all the topics of the world. We pay more for an expert. That's why surgeons are paid more than a general doctor, right? Because that's how it is. So do you want to be the expert or you want to be the general, coach that helps you with everything? And of course, you're going to have to lead on price because you're not known for anything. So you need to get known for the one thing that you feel you add the most value in any of those areas that I spoke about before. So just like remember that. What is that one thing you want to be known for? That's like your brand. And I know it sounds like claustrophobic. I have like claustrophobia in like real life. I know it sounds like, oh my gosh, like I have to put myself in a container. But I'm telling you, at the beginning, you have to go that narrow. And then once you build your business, then you can widen up a little bit more. Because now you build your credibility, you build your brand, people know about you, you have a lot of client testimonials and all of that. And then, of course, you can expand, from there. But it's important to lead with value, and it's important to get known as the expert that you actually are. And one of the things that I've noticed patterns all the time is that it's not that people are not amazing. It's just a matter of they don't really understand how to articulate what they actually do, how they're different, and really position their offers as different in the marketplace from someone else, right? Because that is, adding, like explaining the value you provide to your client is very important, right? It's not about just like, hey, I lead with value, but it's like, okay, what can you do different from another business coach or business strategist that is, connecting with me? And you have to be able to find the gap in that conversation and position yourself, of course, all naturally and all authentically, with what is it that you bring to the table that is different. And of course, your client decides what decision they want to make, right? But it is important to really articulate your messaging. For homework, you just going to let me know. I'm going to post a thread in our Facebook group, and just let me know which buyer are you actually currently attracting right now in your business, because a lot of we know now from energy perspective that we attract what we put out, right? If we go into that lack mindset, like no one's going to afford, pay for my service and all of that, I don't know what I help people achieve, all of that, then of course you will be attracting, those clients towards you, because whatever we are, we get back, right? So really being unapologetically assertive in a good way with what you do. You have to believe in your stuff first. Selling and serving is all a transfer, inspiration, and energy. That's it, right? That's it. It's what it is, right? So if you don't believe in it, that's why I'm like, before I do anything, I have to ensure that I have wrapped my mind around this. It fits the vision and it's something that I believe in. And then my words come, which are authentic of why I am speaking about this, or why I think that, let's say, this workshop is amazing, or what I'm sharing is amazing, right? Because I believe in my work. So you got to believe in your work. And that just becomes about conversation after that. And that's where we go into our heart. And I speak a lot about heart-centered marketing. We could coin that a word, or relational marketing. Heart-centered marketing, even when you ask your clients for testimonial, I always like say, share from your heart. Like, what is your experience? You put the words to that, to your experience. I don't want to tell you like share this and that, because that's just like, that's not your experience. That's my experience. I'm looking at it from another angle. Right. So when you go into that abundant mindset and you believe in what you do and you rest in peace with that, and you're very confident and you have conviction with it, the rest just becomes about a conversation, right? So all of these things should like flow very naturally. I'm telling you, because I used to put myself through a lot of pressure because I didn't understand how to do this right. I didn't, understand how to speak about what I do and the value I bring, and like, always gathering feedback from my audience and all that. But then you just, once you do it a long time, you just kind of like build those muscles, and it just becomes very natural, and you become authentic. And there's no competition for authenticity, right? There's only one of me. There's only one of you. There's only one of, one type of you, everyone, right? So you just go at that level where you just kind of like everything, it just becomes like, I love what I do. It's just like fun, because all you want to do is share your experience and then just build something. That's why I speak a lot about purpose, because it's like you're building something on purpose, and you don't have such a need for, clients, like lack, that all of that shows in the way that you are, portraying yourself. But of course, you have to give yourself the education and the skills and the experience to put yourself through that journey, so that you get on the other side where you're speaking about things so naturally. And it's just about really sharing at the end of the day. And then whoever wants to join you will join you. Whoever is not is, there in your audience when they're ready. The timing will happen, and they will get your help. That's kind of how things work. Irma, yes, there's no competition for authenticity. So true. Julia, please note that down. We'll put that in our community. I think that's a good quote that comes like so authentically. I've never heard that anywhere. So yeah, I mean, it's really what it is. So as far as like qualifying your buyer, obviously we need to, once we understand who our deal client is and all of that, we need to qualify our buyer. We need to see where they are. Qualifying is really about where they are in the stage of life they're in, pretty much timing. It's all about timing, right? So where they are, and understanding, what I talked about at the beginning, which, I do a lot of work with this with my clients, with kind of like walking them through the steps and the framework to discover it and all of that to give clarity. But it's really about, I just want to speak about like some fundamentals that I've seen, sort of like helping people through with that. So, your qualifying buyer, again, if you want to lead with value, you want to understand where are they in their lives, what is their life conditions, and can they actually afford you? Because yes, people could, think you're amazing and all of that, but if a financial situation is not there, then, we can't even move ahead to any other step. That's what it is, right? So that's one of the pillars to really qualify your buyer, and in really understanding, can they actually afford your services? Where are they in their lives? Where have they invested before? It's a great pillar to understand, because you want to have someone in your audience and in your market, as I say, that understands the value of what you do. If you go to a market that the competition is good in this way as well, if we're going to talk about traditional competition, if you are in a market where no one knows what you do, it's going to take years before people even understand, or even get that first indication to invest in something they've never invested in before. So if there's a market that has coaches, let's say, because most of us here are coaches, then it's easier because people are already used to this idea. They understand the value of a coach. I'm not saying everything is perfect, but they understand that they need someone to help them, and they believe in self-development, all of that. So the whole mindset, like, we've heard of like-mindedness. We want to build an audience of like-mindedness as well, because you don't want to waste your time and energy, and that's where you feel like convincing, because people are not even mindset wise ready to grasp what is it that you do. And if they've never invested in something like that before, it's going to be a bigger hoop to jump, a bigger bridge to cross. So obviously you're going to need to market longer and all of that. I mean, I do that personally with my native community, but that's my passion project. It's not very income generating, but we do different things for different reasons, right? It's not everything about income. I just wanted to share that, but I know where they are, right? So I'm investing in a lot of time and energy to open up that mindset, but it's taking time, and it's going to take time. And I know that, right? But really understanding that we need to go to a ready market, and competition is good because you can get better results there. That's all I'm saying. So when we're picking a market, we need to, or like ideal client avatar or an audience we want to build, we want to go to people that already have invested in what we do. And that's true for anything. Then the other one is really, do they want what you have? Actually, let's say, do they need what you have? And then do they want what you have? And there's a lot of times a distinction between both, because I used to be so excited when it's like, oh my God, you need me. I would speak to people and it's like, you need what I do. I can help you. I'd be so excited to help you. But then there was no want. The person is not ready. They don't have a pain point yet. And a lot of times as human beings, we act on pain more than we act on pleasure, right? We'll procrastinate, oh, it's okay. Another like low income month. It's okay. I'll just like make it work. I'm doing these other things. It'll happen for me. Or like losing weight or like gaining more energy. If I don't go to doctor and it tells me like, lady, you better get something going because you're not doing well. And I'm seeing this and that. That's when we're like, okay, I need to do something about it. So now you're going to go out and look for solutions to your pain point. So that's kind of how we are. I think it's great that with the coaching industry overall, we are educating the market on being proactive with things rather than reactive, like emotional health. A lot of you do, are experts in these areas. Being proactive with that. You don't want to wait when you have anxiety and depression to take care of your emotional health and put the right habits in your life. But unfortunately, 85% of people are in the second boat, where unless there's like real pain, then they're like, okay, I'll live with it until, the biggest excuse is like, I'm busy. I am busy, I'm busy. It's all I hear. I'm just too busy. I'll get to that like next year, or, like when the kids, or like, I don't know when I'm getting to that, right? You just have to understand that's just majority of the population, right? So we just, with our marketing, with our content, we have to tackle all these things, because these are the things that are getting in the way of your buyer to make a buying decision and create the income, and so that you can serve them at a higher level. So just don't forget that just because there's a need doesn't mean there's a want. Right? So we need to bridge the gap between both. And then tomorrow I'll speak about like how to connect all of these, because I think this is really fascinating, the way it unravels. It's like, okay, great. Now I know that they need it, but then they don't want it. So what do I do? Do I like convince? Do I like become a sleazy salesperson? Do I push? Do I let them go? Like, what do I do? Right? So we'll talk about that tomorrow. And then, are they a decision maker? Right? That's another one. You don't want to, if they're not the decision maker, you need to understand who the decision maker is. If they can't make the decision to really buy your program to get the results, then you are just pitching in a traditional way, or like speaking to the wrong ear, the wrong audience, right? So you need to know who is the decision maker. Of course, you can bring the decision maker on with you if it's the husband, the wife, and all of that, right? I mean, this happens more with business to business because obviously there's a lot of like different departments and all of that. I think we're more into business to consumer, right? I mean, we're helping individuals, and most of the time they're the ones making the decision whether they want the help that we have to offer. But that's just something to consider because I can't tell you how many times that people don't understand why they're not getting the traction they want because they just don't understand these pillars of qualifying your ideal client. So those are the four. Can they afford you? Have they invested, in what you offer before? Do they have a want and need, and they both have to marry? And are they the decision makers? And this goes into our, I think, fourth pillar yesterday, the sales system, right, in the business, because these are all like journeys of people, right? Where are they in their journey? And doesn't mean that we quit and we give up on people, because when we first meet them, they might be at that, maybe I can't afford you, or I'm not ready for this right now. I'm not looking for it, right? I don't have a need yet. And then a need might come across if they are your ideal client, maybe like 2, 3, 6 months. And there are 3, 6 a year, say, sales cycles that happen all the time. So to not be discouraged, we need to still build relationships, and tomorrow come with your questions with that. I know that's like an area that a lot of people always have a lot of questions on, how to follow up and all of that, which is, so important and crucial in the business. But it's 12:30 on the dot, and I value time, as we said today, and I value your time, most important. So thank you so much for coming by in another amazing day. Let me know your takeaways. I tend to share a lot because for me, again, it's like part of my work, but just let me know, your takeaways, anything that you think was insightful, or maybe just the way I shared it. Sometimes it's all about perspective, right? It's really not about that we don't have the information. It's about like aha moment, getting more clarity. It's really so powerful because we have a lot of information a lot of times. Like, yeah, we know. Like, it's just like me with losing weight. And I've shared that with Corey. It's like, yeah, I know, but it's not the knowing. it's implementing it, and it's really the clarity that I need to make that part of my overall vision so that I can act on it and get the results I want, right? And a lot of times that's what we're doing for our clients. We're holding the space so they can get that clarity in those aha moments. So I hope that I served and this served you as well. Thanks so much for joining, and I'll see you back here tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern again. Bye, everybody. Thanks so much. Take care.